Okay, so I'm going to be telling you about how I grew up and a few experiences from 2 years ago. So growing up in the 80s and 90s was a very different thing. Our idea of entertainment was very different. We did not have any Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hotstar, but good old cable television was our idea of entertainment. And some of the sitcoms that aired on these cable television channels were very, very dear to us. And I was hooked to Friends. You see that on the screen. I grew up watching this sitcom, and to me it was a complete package of humor, entertainment, and some of the biggest life lessons that I have learned. I related to what happens in Friends. You all do that? Okay. So I did a lot of that. So today I intend on telling you about the difficulty of being good, and I'm going to tell you about 3 life lessons that I've learned by relating it to a few of the episodes from this favorite sitcom of mine, and I think it is a timeless classic. Do you agree? Yes. Okay. So I'm sure all of you at some point of time in your life would have related yourselves to some character from this sitcom. I went ahead and even gave my friends titles or nicknames such as the Joey of the group if that person would eat a lot, or the Phoebe of the group if that person was a little crazy. So I did that too. Did you all do that? Do you all relate yourselves to some character? Yes? Right. So I did that, and however, I'm not going to be telling you which character I related myself the most with. But I'm going to tell you an anecdote that will help you guess why and who I was and who I associated myself with. 2 years ago, I enrolled myself into a teaching course in one of the very reputed institutions in Bangalore. And very, very soon into that course, I realized that my classmates, they disliked me. I can even say that they abhorred me. Ask why? Very simple. The professors, they loved me. They loved me for being diligent, and I never flouted any rules, and I always kept to the deadlines, and I made sure I turned in the best assignments that they have seen in the entire batch. And this praise that the professors gave me in class was not very well received by my classmates. By now, you would have realized that I'm Monica. I had my hand up like this in every class because I knew the answer for every single question. And obsessively like Monica and compulsively, I chased perfection. I chased wanting to be the best student. And amidst all of this, I came across as someone who would be coming across as someone who knew everything. And my classmates, they made very nasty comments like, oh, she thinks she knows it all. Oh, Aruna always has her way with the professors. I thought that was very unfair because I was strictly concerned with learning and growing every day. So you may wonder how I dealt with so many negative comments all around me and this negative vibes around me. I realized the first difficulty of being good when all this was happening, and that was you have to be odd to be number one. I say that again, you have to be odd, O-D-D, odd, to be number one. You may not have very many friends. You may not be the most popular kid in class. But it's going to be all right because none of that ever matters. And I also realized that we need to recognize our truest of friends. In a batch of about 80 odd students, I had, say, 5 friends who saw eye to eye with me, and they were the ones who were really interested in my well-being, and they encouraged me and they pushed me to do better. And it is important for all of you to recognize those real friends. It could even be your family members because they are truly concerned about how well you are doing and they push you. And your real friends would always hold up the mirror of reality to you and they tell you whether you're going wrong somewhere or whether you are chasing something that is not really productive. So that was my first difficulty and first life lesson that I had learned. Now I must tell you, it was an exhilarating feeling to be praised by my professors, and I felt very powerful knowing that I was doing better than everyone else in my batch. But this mad chase to perfection and excellence came at a cost. And that brings me to the second difficulty of being good. And that is, this whole chase for perfection is an endless pursuit. I'd like to allude to my favorite series once again. I'm sure you are aware of that one episode where Monica stays up the entire night making Halloween candies for everyone in her building, and they keep coming back again and again, and they can't get enough of those candies. Monica's problem was that she did not know how to say no. And the same was the case with me. I did not know how to say no when my body was tired. I did not know how to stop. I wished how I could just stop, change things around a little bit, and in the event of this mad chase and this competitive rat race for getting the highest in something or being the best in something, I felt very sick. And so I must tell you that you must develop what I call vitamin N, the ability to say no. When you're tired, just take some time off for yourself. Sit down, get some rest, be well rested, recuperate yourself, and then bounce back. Now, while we're on this subject of academics, I must tell you that my university had instituted an award for the student who secured the highest marks in any course. To be specific, it was a gold medal and a very impressive rank certificate. Are you all familiar with Voldemort? Yes? You know how Voldemort had an eye for coveted treasures, like trophies and souvenirs? Just like that, I had my eye on this gold medal and rank certificate since day one. And I put my blood and sweat into this course, and I secured the highest. At the end of the 2 years, I secured the highest marks in that batch. But there's always but or better. Remember, there's always but or better. So, but that fateful year, the rules of the university changed. The rule was that the gold medal would no longer go to someone who had secured the highest marks, but it would go to someone who had shown a substantial increase or a considerable improvement in marks, other than the rank student. So I had to just settle for a rank certificate, and someone who was as overambitious as I was, I still am a little bit, someone who was as hyper-competitive as I was, could never be able to make myself understand what was the rationale behind introducing this new rule. It meant so much to me, that one gold medal, because every year of my academic life I've always fallen short by a few marks. And this year I've made it, and yet I was not to receive that, and somebody else was to be a recipient of that esteemed, coveted gold medal. This brings me to the third difficulty of being good. Once again, I'd allude to friends. You must remember that episode where Rachel is asked to cut her credit cards, and Monica says a very beautiful line which I have tweaked in keeping with the sanctity of this beautiful auditorium and stage. She says, "Welcome to the real world. Life is unfair sometimes. Life is unfair. So, you're going to love it anyway." So I wondered, how are you going to love life if it is going to be unfair sometimes, if not most times? Then I decided that I'd take count of all my blessings. Count your blessings. That gold medal that I eyed for so many years, that was insignificant to me once I did that. I feel blessed today that I'm a part of a school where I can call my colleagues my family. Thank you, dear teachers, for being so warm and affectionate. I feel blessed to be your teacher, because you are such an endearing lot, and I'm sure that you do a great deal of good for this world in the next couple of years. Thank you, students. I feel blessed to be a part of a family that pushes me to encourage my dreams and chase my dreams every single day. Once again, do you remember that episode where Phoebe coaxes Monica to make Thanksgiving dinner once again, just so she can compete with herself, her last year's self? Just like that, I realized that the only competition that you ought to face is yourself. Set your own goals and break your own records. So my dear students, today I want you to realize that someone who has taken to a bad habit and then they have reformed themselves, they're always more glorified than someone who has consistently been good. They come across as someone who's extremely ambitious, they come across as annoying. But how about we just understand that these people have their own battles to fight. Just like all of us, we have our own crosses to bear, our own battles to fight. All they want to do is to learn and grow and be better and better than what they were from one point of time. So let us be understanding and inclusive of such individuals, and let us not make a mockery out of them for having learned so much more than we have. Why do we have to punish someone for being so ambitious? After all, they are chasing their dreams. Respect that and admire that and learn from them. Today I hope and pray that you recognize those true friends who really try and hold up a mirror of reality at you, and they tell you that chasing cheap popularity is not good. I hope you recognize the importance of your family members, and it takes so much for them to send you to school every day, and they have so many sacrifices that are unheard of and unspoken about. And lastly, just like Monica kept competing with her last year's self, I hope and pray that all of us set our own goals, we break our own records, and we go way past our benchmarks, so much so that with every passing year, we look back at our previous year's achievements, and in signature Monica style, we'll be able to say, "In your face, last year me." Thank you, everyone.